Have you ever felt a strange heat right here, in the middle of your chest? It's not heartburn. It's not hunger. It's like your stomach is blushing inside, reacting to something you can't even explain. Thousands of people around the world are feeling this. And the most curious thing, the exams are normal. Nothing appears. No inflammation, no ulcers, no apparent problems. So what's going on? Why do so many people feel this silent fire in their stomach and no one talks about it? Today you will understand what is really behind this mysterious sensation, why it arises, what it means, and what you can do to alleviate this today. What I'm going to tell you now can completely change the way you understand your body, because sometimes, what hurts in the stomach? It's the heart trying to talk in another way. Have you ever felt a strange heat here? Right in the middle of your chest. It's not heartburn. It's not hunger. It's like your stomach is blushing inside, reacting to something you can't even explain. Many people feel this way, but almost no one talks about it. It's a strange feeling, which appears suddenly, a knot, a tingling, a heat that rises slowly and seems to warn that something is not right. You try to take a deep breath, drink some water, distract yourself, but the discomfort is still there, discreet, insistent, as if your body wanted to tell you something and you didn't know how to listen. In their offices, doctors began to notice a pattern. Different people, different ages, different stories, but the same complaint, a weight, a pressure, a warmth right there in the pit of the stomach. And the most curious thing is that, most of the time, the tests are normal, nothing appears, no inflammation, no ulcers, no apparent problems. So what's going on? The answer may lie in emotions. This heat, this discomfort, is the physical reflection of something emotional. The body reacts before the mind understands. It's the nervous system responding to what you feel. Fear, anxiety, worry, sadness, anger, love. When you hold in what you feel too much, your body tries to warn you. And the stomach is one of the first to react. It squeezes, burns, wraps, heats. It's his way of saying, hey, there's something in here you need to digest. It's not imagination, it's biology. It has the axis between the brain and the gut, a two-way street that turns emotion into a physical reaction. Therefore, what you feel in your mind is also felt in your stomach. This phenomenon has a symbolic name, flushed stomach. A body that speaks, a silent alert. He's not punishing you, he's trying to protect you, reminding you to slow down, breathe and look within. A flushed stomach is a sign that something inside you needs attention. And the sooner you understand this warning, the easier it is to find the balance between what you feel and what your body screams silently. The flushed stomach starts subtly, almost imperceptible. A slight squeeze when you receive a message that leaves you in doubt. A strange feeling before an important meeting, or that silent discomfort when something was left unsaid. At first, you don't even pay attention. You think it's just nerves, that it will pass. But little by little, you realize that your body starts to react before you even understand why. The heart races, the air seems to get shorter, and the stomach gets hot, as if a flame were ignited inside, right in the center of the body. You try to hide it, carry on with your day, pretend everything is fine. But deep down, you know something has changed. With every unexpressed emotion, every swallowed worry, the stomach reacts. It's as if he becomes the spokesperson for what you can't put into words. Maybe it's fear, maybe anxiety, maybe that desire to say what you feel but can't. And the body understands all of this, it feels it before you admit it. The flushed stomach is a reminder that no emotion goes away on its own. It transforms, it settles, and sometimes it manifests itself here in the form of heat. It is not a disease, it's a sign, a gentle warning that there is something inside you asking for attention. Imagine the day beginning. You're at work, trying to concentrate, but you get that pit in your stomach for no reason. In traffic, stopped for minutes, your chest feels heavy, and the heat slowly rises. Sometimes it's just a notification on your phone, a message that makes you take a deep breath before you even open it. And without realizing it, the body has already responded. The heart races a little, the breathing changes, the stomach tightens. It's as if your body knows what's coming, even before your mind understands. And he knows, because the stomach is the second brain. It thinks, feels, and reacts with the same intensity as the head, only in silence. While you try to appear calm, It translates everything you hold inside: fear, tension, anticipation, longing. It's not weakness, it's biology. The stomach is connected directly to the brain by a pathway called the vagus nerve, an invisible thread that carries every emotion, every thought, straight into you. So when something worries you, you don't just feel it in your head, you feel it in your body. And the first place to react is almost always the same: the stomach. It twitches when you are anxious, it closes when you get sad, and it warms you when something touches you deeper than you want to admit. That's why, sometimes, all it takes is a look, a message, or a silence for the entire body to respond in seconds. The flushed stomach is this: the body reacting before the mind, a reminder that your emotions don't hide, they show. And the first to feel, almost always, is the stomach, the one that feels, thinks, and speaks. What you feel emotionally doesn't stay stuck in your mind. Every thought, every memory, every worry is translated into electrical impulses and chemical reactions that run through the entire body. These signals travel down to the digestive system, and inside, everything changes. The brain sends messages to the stomach, and the stomach responds. It releases more acid, muscles contract, digestion slows down or speeds up too much. It's your body trying to process what you haven't yet been able to emotionally digest. And the result is this heat, this feeling of tightness, of a knot, of a discrete fire that seems to be born in the center of the body. When you're anxious, your brain releases adrenaline and cortisol hormones that prepare your body to react, as if something dangerous is about to happen. But the danger often does not exist. It's just a thought, a memory, an emotion that the body takes seriously. Tension builds, blood flows to the muscles and away from the digestive system. The stomach becomes sensitive, the intestine responds, and digestion changes completely. That's why some people lose their appetite when they are sad, or feel nauseous when they are nervous. Others overeat trying to fill a void that isn't physical, it's emotional. Every emotion has a way of manifesting itself within us. Anger burns, sadness tightens, anxiety accelerates, and they all pass through the same place, the stomach. So when you feel that heat, it's not just a random reaction, it's the body translating what you feel into physical language. It's the brain and the stomach talking, two different worlds trying to solve the same problem. But the flushed stomach also hurts. It can turn into gastritis, reflux, lack of appetite, or even anxiety attacks that start deep inside, in the abdomen, before reaching the mind. At first, it's just a mild discomfort, a passing burning sensation. Then comes the weight, the burning sensation that appears at night, the feeling that the body is tired of swallowing what it can no longer handle. You try to ignore it, take an antacid, change your diet, pretend everything is fine. But the body insists, because the problem was never just what you eat, it's also how you feel. And when you accumulate too many emotions, the body finds a way to make itself heard. Some cry, others freeze. The stomach, it becomes inflamed. He speaks for you. Physical pain is the cry that emotion gives when it has been silenced for too long. And that scream is insistent. You wake up tired, not hungry. Your chest feels heavy, your stomach feels hot, your breath is short, and he thinks that feeling again. But every episode is a warning, a request for a break. Be careful, listening. The truth is that the body never lies. It just repeats what the mind tries to hide. Therefore, a flushed stomach is more than a symptom. It's a warning sign. When it hurts, it's asking for attention. And ignoring this request can turn a temporary discomfort into something much bigger. This pain that starts out discreet can become a cycle. The more anxiety, the more tension, the more the stomach reacts. And the body, which just wanted to be heard, ends up getting sick. That's why understanding the flushed stomach is urgent, not to cure pain, but to prevent it from becoming part of who you are. Because if you learn to listen to your body now, can prevent today's silence from becoming tomorrow's suffering. I thought it was just nerves until I started to feel real pain. The voice comes out with embarrassment, as if it were an exaggeration. But it isn't. My doctor said it was stress, but no one could explain to me why. This is the phrase that is most repeated in doctors' offices. People with normal exams, but who do not feel well, no fever, no injury, no diagnosis. but constant discomfort. That tightens, that burns, that seems to come from a place that science cannot always reach. It is at this point that repressed emotions begin to demand space. Every swallowed word, every contained cry, every hidden anger, the body keeps all of this. And the first to feel it is the stomach. It is a faithful reflection of your emotions. When you hold what you feel, it holds you back. When you try to look strong, it contracts. And when you pretend everything is okay, he knows it's not. On the outside, you keep smiling. Inside, the body struggles to maintain a balance between what it feels and what it needs to hide. And this tension, accumulated day after day, becomes a symptom, a heartburn that won't go away, a feeling of nausea that appears out of nowhere, a tightness in the chest that confuses the mind and heart. It's no coincidence. It's the body reacting to the weight of emotions that have never been spoken. Some call it emotional gastritis, others of somatized anxiety. But the name doesn't matter much. What really matters is understanding that the body and mind do not live separately. They talk all the time, and the stomach is one of the most sensitive messengers of that conversation. So when he hurts, he's not just asking for medicine, it's asking for attention, break, breathing, a safe space to feel what has been swallowed for so long. Anger increases stomach acid. Sadness slows down digestion. Anxiety contracts the muscles in the area. It's that simple, and at the same time, profound. Every emotion you feel turns into a real physical reaction. It's not all in the head. It's the body trying to keep up with everything the heart experiences. When you feel angry, your brain understands that it needs to defend itself. It releases adrenaline and cortisol, preparing the body to fight. The blood concentrates in the muscles, the heart accelerates, and the stomach, which should be calm, receives an acid bath. The result: burning, pain, discomfort. When sadness sets in, the body slows down. Everything slows down. Your gaze, your rhythm, your digestion. That's why, on bad days, food loses its flavor. The body understands sadness as a sign of withdrawal. It stores energy, reduces metabolism, and the stomach simply stops. Anxiety does the opposite. It tightens, contracts, accelerates. The stomach muscles tense, the air becomes short, and that knotty feeling appears right in the middle of the chest. It's the body preparing for something that hasn't even happened yet. And the most curious thing is that all of this is automatic. You don't need to think for it to happen. The body feels before reason. It responds in milliseconds, as if he had an emotional memory that did not depend on words. But the problem is that we have forgotten how to listen. Ignore the tiredness, disguise the fear, swallow the tears, and when you realize it, your body is screaming what your mind didn't want to say. The body speaks, and he talks every day, in a tight spot, in heat, in a discomfort that insists on returning. The ruddy stomach is just that, the emotion trying to transform into a warning before it turns into an illness. And when you learn to listen, something changes. The pain loses strength, the body relaxes. If you feel like your stomach talks when your mind is silent, this video is for you. Because maybe you've also learned to swallow what you feel. Smiling when I wanted to cry. Saying it's okay when, in reality, he was tired of pretending to be strong. And the body feels all of this. He notices what you hide. While you try to remain firm on the outside, inside something contracts, shrinks, defends itself. The body always knows. Maybe it's that tightness that comes out of nowhere. That burning sensation that appears on the heaviest nights. Or that feeling of emptiness that not even food can fill. It's the body asking for space, asking you to stop for a moment and listen. It's not weakness. It's not drama. It's just the way your body found to protect you. To remind you to breathe, to feel, to truly exist. And if this happens to you, it's because your body still believes it can save you. He speaks when you can't. He screams when the silence weighs too much. So before you beat yourself up for feeling too much or thinking it's all in your head, remember, the body just wants to talk. And the red stomach is this conversation, the most human and sincere way your body found to warn you, hey, I'm here, and I feel it too. And what was a symptom became a sign of self-knowledge. Recent research shows that about 90% of serotonin, the feel-good hormone, is produced in the gut, not in the brain, as many people imagine. This changes everything. because it explains why we feel emotions here in our stomach before we even understand what's going on in our mind. When something moves you, a piece of news, a memory, a difficult conversation, your brain isn't the only one that reacts. The intestine receives the signal at almost the same time, and he answers. It changes the chemistry. It changes the rhythm. It sends nerve impulses back to the brain. It's as if there's a constant conversation between the two, a two-way street. This dialogue is carried out by the vagus nerve, a communication channel that connects the brain to the digestive system. Every thought, every emotion, every memory travels this invisible path. When you calm down, your stomach relaxes. When you worry, it contracts. When you hold on to anger, it flares up. That's why what you feel never stays just in your head. Every emotion has a physical reflection, and the stomach is one of the first to react. Science calls this the brain gut axis, but in practice, it is the link between the mind and the body. It's the reason why fear gives you butterflies in your stomach. Anxiety causes nausea, and joy whets the appetite. Body and mind work together always. The problem is that when we live on autopilot, disconnected from sensations, this communication gets confused. The brain sends out warning signals all the time, and the body responds in despair. This is how the ruddy stomach is born, a real, physical symptom, but with deep emotional roots. It's not imagination, it's neuroscience. It's the body trying to balance chemistry and emotion, instinct and reason. When you understand this, everything changes. You realize that the stomach is not the villain, it is the messenger. And what he's trying to say is simple. What you feel, I feel too. A flushed stomach is the physical reflection of emotion. It's the body showing you that something needs to be digested. Not only the food, but also the feelings. Because not everything that weighs on us comes from a meal. Sometimes it comes from an unspoken word, of a hidden hurt, of a concern that was trapped between the chest and the silence. The body understands these emotions as if they were part of it. He tries to process what you feel, in the same way that you digest what you eat. And when he can't, he reacts. The stomach tightens, the chest heats up, the air seems to be lacking. It's the body saying, this hasn't been digested yet. You can even ignore it for a while. Try to distract yourself, occupy your mind, swallow the discomfort. But the body is patient and insistent. He will remind you again and again that what is not resolved in emotion ends up manifesting itself in sensation. That's why sometimes your stomach hurts, when your heart hurts, or the appetite disappears when the soul is tired. The connection is direct and visible, but powerful, and the flushed stomach is the most human sign of this connection. He doesn't come to punish you, comes to warn you, to make you stop, breathe, and look inside. He says, silently, you don't have to endure everything. You just need to feel it, so you can let go. When you understand this, the body ceases to be an enemy. The symptom stops being a threat and becomes a message. And the stomach, previously flushed with pain, begins to calm down. Because, finally, he was heard. Think about how many times you've swallowed an argument to avoid conflict. You take a deep breath, force a smile, and say, never mind. But the body doesn't let it. He records, while you remain silent on the outside. On the inside, your stomach tightens. Your chest heats up, your throat closes. The anger that could not come out through the mouth descends and lodges there. In the center of the body, it's as if the emotion, with no room to be expressed, was pushed inside, literally swallowed. And the body tries to deal with this the only way it knows how, by reacting. The stomach muscles contract, acid builds up, and discomfort soon sets in. That mild pain you call gastritis, but in reality, it is a feeling asking to be digested. Now imagine another scene. Someone hurts you, and you decide to let it go. But it doesn't let me. You hold on to anger, resentment, hurt pride. Days later, the body begins to respond. A discomfort in the pit of the stomach, a pain that appears without explanation, that burning sensation that comes back every time you remember what happened. It's the anger trying to get out, not by the screams, but by the symptoms. And it's not just anger. Sadness turns into tiredness. Guilt becomes a lump in the throat. Fear in nausea. Every emotion finds a place to manifest itself. The body is literal. He doesn't understand never mind. He understands what you feel and feels it with you. Therefore, The flushed stomach is the mirror of unexpressed emotions. Whatever you swallow, it tries to digest. Whatever you keep silent about, he tries to translate into physical language. And there comes a time when he needs to speak. Sometimes as pain, sometimes like heat, sometimes like that discrete tightness that appears every time the soul gets heavy. The body does not keep it for evil. He keeps it because he wants to protect you. But when he can't take it anymore, he screams, and the scream comes from within. A flushed stomach is not the enemy. He is the messenger. He doesn't come to punish you. He comes to warn you, to remind you to look inside, to stop for a moment and listen to what your body is trying to tell you. When the body speaks, the soul is trying to be heard. It's your inner self saying, gently or painfully, there is something in me that needs attention. And when you start listening, something changes. Pain ceases to be a threat and becomes language. Discomfort loses its weight and becomes a compass. You begin to understand what each sensation means. The heat in your stomach, it could be accumulated anxiety. The knot in your stomach, maybe fear of something you haven't yet had the courage to face. The burning that insists on coming back, it could be anger, guilt, or worry that has been bottled up too long. None of this happens by chance. The body is wise. He speaks the truth that the mind tries to hide, and the ruddy stomach is proof of that. So instead of fighting it, be thankful. Be thankful that your body is still warning you. Still believe that you can change the course of things. Breathe. Place your hand on your abdomen. Feel the heat, but not with fear, with curiosity. Ask yourself, what does my body want to tell me now? When you do this, something calms down. The message is received. The body understands that it has been heard. And little by little, the symptom turns into silence. But it is a good silence, the silence of peace that comes after understanding. A flushed stomach is your body teaching you to listen with your heart, converting pain into presence, discomfort into wisdom. It's a reminder that feeling isn't weakness, it's language, and that the body does not scream to punish you, screams to bring you back to consciousness. Instead of silencing the symptom, listen to what it is asking for, because the symptom is not the problem, it is the message. When you try to silence your body with medicine, distractions, or haste, you silence only the messenger, but not the message. The body speaks all the time. He whispers when he needs rest, speaks louder when you need attention, and screams when ignored for too long. The ruddy stomach is one of those screams, a gentle warning disguised as discomfort. He doesn't want to hurt you. It wants you to look at what was swallowed without being felt. Breathe for a moment. Place your hand on your abdomen and feel the movement. Don't fight the feeling, just notice it. The heat, the tightness, the shallow breathing. All of this is the body trying to talk. Ask yourself, what am I trying to digest alone? What is trapped inside and still needs to be released? Often, the symptom just wants this, that you stop, recognize and feel what has been avoided. The pain weakens when it is heard. Tension lessens when it finds space to exist. The body relaxes when it understands that it no longer needs to shout to be noticed. Listening to what your body is asking for is an act of courage, because sometimes he doesn't ask for a cure, he asks for care. It doesn't ask for strength, it asks for rest. It doesn't ask for haste, it asks for presence. When you start listening, the body trusts again. And little by little, the red stomach stops being a burden and becomes a guide, a constant reminder that to feel is to live, and that the body is the first to know when something inside you needs love. Now that you understand what your body is trying to tell you, let's learn to really listen to him. There are simple yet powerful ways to calm an upset stomach and help the body return to balance. First technique, 4x6 breathing. Inhale deeply through your nose, counting to 4. Feel the air enter. Expand your abdomen. Fill the space that was previously tense. Then, exhale slowly through your mouth, counting to 6. Release the air calmly, as if you were also emptying what weighs you down inside. Repeat this for a few minutes. This breathing changes the rhythm of the body, slows down the mind, and sends a direct signal to the nervous system. It's okay, you can relax. Second technique, eat slowly and breathe between bites. It may seem simple, but the way you eat says a lot about the way you live. When you eat in a hurry, your body understands that it is on alert, and the stomach reacts as if it needs to defend itself, tense, accelerated, inflamed. But when you chew slowly, breathe between one bite and another, and pay attention to the flavors, you teach the body that it is safe, and the digestive system responds. It relaxes, flows, reorganizes itself. Third technique, write what you feel. The next time your stomach tightens, stop and write it down. It doesn't matter if it seems confusing, small, or silly. Write down what is bothering you at that moment. Today I felt a warmth in my chest. I was anxious when I got that message. I couldn't say what I wanted. When you write, the emotion leaves the body and takes form, and what was trapped inside begins to dissolve. These 3 simple practices, breathing, eating calmly, and writing, are ways of teaching the body to feel safe again. They reconnect what haste has separated mind and body, emotion and digestion. A flushed stomach doesn't need to rush to get better, needs presence. And every conscious breath is a reminder that you are here, that the body is listening, and that he just wanted to be heard too. Taking care of your stomach is taking care of your mind and heart at the same time. It's not just taking medicine, it's to change the way you listen to yourself. It's understanding that the body is not against you. He is by your side, trying to protect you, trying to remind you to live more lightly, to breathe before reacting, to feel before swallowing what hurts you. Taking care of your flushed stomach is making peace with your own rhythm. It is respecting the time of emotions, is learning that silence also speaks, and that the body, when it hurts, just wants to be heard. You don't have to fight him. You need to walk together. Every calm breath, every mindful meal, every break you allow yourself is a signal to the body. I'm listening to you. I'm taking care of us. And little by little, the warmth in the stomach turns into tranquility. The pain that once bothered you becomes a gentle reminder, an invitation to be present. The flushed stomach stops being a symptom and becomes a silent master, teaching you that body and soul are not opposites, they are allies. And when one speaks, the other listens. When one suffers, the other feels it. But when one heals, the other flourishes. So if your body has been trying to warn you, if your stomach tightens when your mind races, do not ignore. Breathe. Listen. Hug. Because care starts like this, with a simple gesture of attention. And when you learn to truly listen to yourself, everything inside you begins to find its own balance. Taking care of your flat stomach is taking care of who you are as a whole, from the inside out, from body to soul. Taking care of your flat stomach means returning to living in harmony with your own body. It's about taking small steps, simple, but full of meaning. A light walk in the morning, feeling the air come in and out without rushing. The body moves, the thought slows down, and the stomach, which before burned in silence, begins to find its natural rhythm. Food becomes a gesture of affection again, not guilt. Colorful, simple dishes full of life. Eat slowly, chew calmly, feel the real flavor of each food. Realizing that the pleasure of eating is not just about the food, is in the peace with which you allow yourself to savor life. And between one meal and another comes laughter, the light conversation, the reunion with the small joys that stress had silenced. Because the body heals when you laugh again, when the mind slows down, when the heart allows itself to feel again. Tranquility gradually sets in. She comes like a breeze, not as something you force, but as something you allow. And without realizing it, the stomach that was previously tight now relaxes. That uncomfortable heat turns into a good heat of life, of presence, of serenity. The person who once ate with fear now savors with pleasure. She discovers that the body is not a battlefield. It is a garden that blooms when it receives attention. And it is at that moment that you understand. It wasn't the stomach that needed to change, was the rhythm. It was the way of life. It was the way of listening. When the body is heard, it returns gratitude. And the red stomach, once a symbol of pain, becomes a sign of balance. A daily reminder that taking care of yourself is the most beautiful gesture of love there is. When you learn to digest life calmly, the body stops screaming, because he never meant to hurt you. I just wanted to be heard. When you breathe before you react, when you choose lightness instead of haste, when you start taking care of yourself as if you were taking care of something sacred, the body understands. He relaxes, trusts, calms down. The pain subsides, sleep improves, breathing starts flowing again. And that heat in your stomach that used to scare you, now it just becomes a reminder. You are alive and you still feel. Life never stops being intense, but you learn to digest it, one day at a time, one feeling at a time, with patience, presence, and love. And little by little, the body stops being a battlefield and becomes a home again. A place where the mind rests, where the heart speaks, and where the soul finally feels at home. Because a flushed stomach is not a punishment, it's translation. It's the heart trying to talk in another way, a path made of sensations, silences, and truths that the body holds when words fail to do the trick. So the next time your stomach feels tight, don't fight. Breathe, listen, give thanks. Maybe he's just reminding you that living is not swallowing the world in a hurry, is to digest it with presence. And when you learn this, everything within you finds peace. A flushed stomach is the heart trying to talk another way. And now, finally, you have learned to listen.